On March 15th, 2019, in Avon, Indiana, Najah Ferrell left home early in the morning to go to work, leaving her ex-fiancé responsible for getting the children ready and off to school. She had planned to pick them up later that evening, but tragically, she never arrived. That day marked the last time anyone saw Najah alive. Najah was a 30-year-old mother of 5, 2 biological children, and 3 she was fostering. She was known for her warmth, compassion, and deep love for children. After she went missing, her family quickly alerted the authorities. A search was launched right away, but weeks passed without answers. Then, on April 8, 2019, nearly a month after she vanished, 2 fishermen in Crown Point, Indiana, made a shocking discovery: a severed human foot floating in a retention pond. Police arrived at the scene and found that the foot had a tattoo with the name Najah. DNA testing confirmed what her family feared. The remains belonged to Najah Ferrell, and she had been murdered. Najah's life was ended in a horrific and senseless way. To this day, the question remains: who killed Najah Ferrell? This is her story. Najah Ferrell was born on July 3, 1984, and was raised in Indianapolis, Indiana. She was the oldest of 4 children, and her mother's name was Paula. As a child, Najah Ferrell was known for being gentle, caring, and full of love. She had a natural tendency to look after others, especially children, and her family remembered her as someone with a warm spirit and a giving heart. Always eager to lend a hand, Najah's cheerful and compassionate nature made her well-loved by those around her. She took on responsibilities early in life, often helping care for her younger siblings, a trait that likely inspired her later devotion to fostering children. Although little is documented about her early years, as an adult, Najah was in a long-term relationship with her fiancé, which lasted for about a decade. She was the biological mother of 2 children and had a strong desire to have a large family, which led her to foster 3 more children. Najah had a deep passion for caring for children. In 2015, Najah and her partner moved to Avon, Indiana, a suburb of Indianapolis, in hopes of providing a better environment for their children. At that time, Najah wasn't employed, but her fiancé helped care for all 5 kids. Around this period, the couple got engaged. However, as time passed, Najah grew dissatisfied with the relationship and it began to deteriorate. Eventually, she chose to call off the engagement. Although their romantic relationship ended, they continued to share the same home. By early 2019, Najah had secured a job at a local Panera Bread. The schedule suited her, allowing her to finish in time to pick up her kids from school. March 15th, 2019, marked her 3rd day on the job at the Panera in Indianapolis, near where her mother lived. Najah was still in training, with her shift beginning at 5 a.m., so she got up early to get ready and told her ex that he needed to handle the kids' morning routine. That morning, Najah left home to head to work. Her 2 biological kids always took the school bus home in the afternoon, while she typically picked up her 3 foster children herself. But that day, Najah never arrived to pick them up. It was the last day she was seen or heard from. The school notified the children's social worker when Najah failed to arrive. Attempts to reach her went unanswered, so the social worker called Paula, Najah's mother. Upon receiving the call, Paula immediately sensed something was wrong. Najah was never late picking up her kids. She tried calling Najah too, but her phone wasn't going through. Concerned that something might have happened to her at work, Paula contacted her workplace Panera, only to learn that Najah never arrived for her shift that day. That's when the family realized something was seriously wrong. Najah's ex-fiancé confirmed that she had left for work that morning, and he hadn't seen or spoken to her since. As the day passed with no sign of her, a cousin called the police to report Najah missing. Initially, investigators believed she may have disappeared after arriving at work in Indianapolis, so they began their investigations there. But when they learned she never showed up at work, the investigation shifted to Avon, where she had actually gone missing. Due to the timing of the report, filed Friday night, the Avon police didn't receive it until Monday, delaying the search. On March 18, 2019, Avon police officially launched their investigation. They searched around Najah's home and workplace, but both Najah and her car were missing. Those close to her were questioned, but no one had any useful information. Najah was not known to leave without explanation, and no one could imagine where she might have gone. Even her neighbors had nothing to offer. She had simply vanished. Her ex-fiancé spoke with investigators and was reportedly cooperative, but due to the lack of leads, police quickly began to suspect foul play. Najah was a devoted mother, and it was uncharacteristic of her to abandon her children, especially after just starting a new job. Her sudden disappearance raised major red flags. Then, almost 2 weeks later, on March 26, 2019, a police officer discovered Najah's Nissan Altima, abandoned in the parking lot of a movie theater about 2.5 miles from her intended workplace. On March 28th, the police held a press conference with Najah's family to provide an update. They wouldn't comment on the car's contents, but said it had been sealed for evidence. Investigators had collected surveillance footage from several places, including her apartment complex, but didn't initially disclose what they found. They did reveal that some of Najah's belongings had been located near a construction site off the highway. An officer, working security for a nearby construction crew, was handed the items by a worker who discovered them. In the weeks after Najah's disappearance, police executed around 30 search warrants, including one for her home. Unfortunately, nothing suspicious was uncovered. Over 40 individuals, family, friends, neighbors, were interviewed, but none could help determine Najah's whereabouts. The FBI joined the investigation, bringing more resources, but little progress was made. Eventually, police shared some surveillance footage details. One video from March 21st showed Najah's car leaving her apartment complex at 3:15 a.m. on March 15th. Her shift didn't begin until 5 a.m., and her workplace was just 15 minutes away, leaving a gap that no one could explain. Although the video captured her car leaving, it didn't clearly show who was behind the wheel. It was assumed Najah was driving based on her ex's statements. Her sister later mentioned that Najah had left behind shoes and a coat she normally wore to work, adding more mystery. When the car was found at the theater, additional footage showed it being dropped off at 5 a.m., shortly after her shift was supposed to start. The footage was grainy, but it showed a man exiting Najah's car. A second vehicle then arrived and picked him up. Investigators couldn't identify the man or the vehicle that picked him up, as the license plate wasn't visible. Whoever they were, they haven't been located. By this stage, it was increasingly clear that Najah had likely been the victim of foul play, and that more than one person may have been involved in her disappearance. Police kept many details private, but continued to search. On April 8, 2019, nearly a month after Najah disappeared, 2 fishermen in Crown Point, Indiana, about 140 miles from Avon, discovered a severed foot floating in a retention pond and called the police. When officers arrived, they noted a tattoo on the foot that read Najah. DNA testing confirmed it belonged to her, devastating the family. A thorough search of the area revealed no additional remains or evidence. While some family members clung to hope, the coroner confirmed that the foot had been removed post-mortem, eliminating any possibility Najah was still alive. She had been murdered. Despite extensive investigations, no further remains have ever been recovered. It's now been 6 years since Najah disappeared, and the case has gone cold. There are no suspects, no new leads, and the rest of Najah's body remains missing. Her family continues to fight for justice, vowing not to rest until the truth is uncovered and Najah's killer is brought to justice. May her soul rest in peace.